Have you ever wondered what this beautiful building is or what it is used for? It looks really historical and worn down, yet it's still standing. Believe it or not, this building has many different stories to its background and is an important part of history. I'll be telling you about the origin of the Pantheon Rome, as well as the history and facts of this building. Not only will I be discussing the history behind it and what it symbolizes, but I will also be sharing the materials and designs used to create it. The Pantheon is a former Roman temple, but is now used as a church in Rome, Italy, on the site of an earlier temple commissioned by Marcus Agrippa during the reign of Augusta, 27 BC through 14 AD. It was dedicated to the 12 gods of heaven and focused on Augustus' cult, and Romans believed that Romulus ascended to heavens from this spot. It was completed by Emperor Hadrian and dedicated about 126 AD. Its date of construction is uncertain because Hadrian chose not to inscribe the new temple, but rather to retain the inscriptions of Agrippa's older temple, which had burned down. The word Pantheon is a Greek adjective meaning honor all gods. In fact, the Pantheon was first built as a temple to all gods. Hadrian was a Roman emperor from 117 to 138 CE, and he is known as the third of the 5 good emperors, the other 4 being Nerva, Trajan, Antoninus, and Marcus. Hadrian is best known for his substantial building projects throughout the Roman Empire. Hadrian's building projects are perhaps his most enduring legacy. This building is circular with a portico of large granite columns under a pediment, which is an architectural element usually in the shape of a triangle, placed above a horizontal structure supported by columns. A rectangular vestibule, which is a small room leading into a larger space, links the porch to the rotunda, which is under a coffered concrete dome with a middle opening, also called an oculus, to the sky. Almost 2,000 years after it was built, the Pantheon's dome is still the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome. The height to the oculus and the diameter of the interior circle are the same, being 142 feet. The Pantheon's large circular dome with a conventional temple portico front was unique in Roman architecture. Nevertheless, it became a standard exemplar when classical styles were reborn and has been copied many times by later architects. The architecture to this building is beautiful to say the least. The oculus at the top of the dome was never covered, allowing rainfall through the ceiling and onto the floor. Because of this, the interior floor is equipped with drains that has been built with an incline of about 30 centimeters to promote water runoff. During storms, a drainage system below the floor handles the rain that falls through the oculus. There are 3 floors in the Pantheon. The second is made up of leasons that allow sunlight to filter through to the first floor, assisted by light flowing in through the oculus. The oculus and the entry door are the only natural sources of light in the interior. Throughout the day, the light from the oculus moves around the space in a reverse sundial effect. The oculus also serves as a cooling and ventilation method. The interior of the dome was possibly intended to symbolize the arched vault of the heavens due to this being a place of worship. It is said that if this building wasn't converted to a church, it might have been abandoned or destroyed. This building is also equipped with religious iconography, such as statues of gods. Best preserved of all ancient Roman buildings, in large part because it has been in continuous use throughout its history. It is a bit of a mystery how the Pantheon managed to survive barbarian raids when the rest of Roman monuments had been shattered. Its turning into a church in 609 AD has a lot to do with it in later time, but also the structure itself is way ahead of its time. In fact, the exact composition of the material is still unknown and appears to be structurally similar to modern-day concrete. Whatever the reasons are, the Pantheon is the only structure of its age and size that has successfully survived the damage of time and gravity, still intact with all of its splendor and beauty. As you can see, this building has such a broad background and carries much history with it. The Pantheon is still discussed today as a building clouded in mystery. The original purpose of the building is unknown. Although the temple is dedicated to all Greek gods, The scale and size of the temple emphasizes the symbol of power and Roman duty.
Throughout the ages, people mined once glorious buildings as quarries. Imagine, they were stacked with pre-cut stones free for the taking. Block by block, they carted away most of this temple and then incorporated what was still standing, like these columns, into a modern building.
Thankfully, no one cannibalized the magnificent Pantheon, the best-preserved temple from ancient Rome. The Portico, with its stately pediment, has symbolized Roman greatness ever since antiquity. Like the obelisks, its massive one-piece granite columns were shipped from Egypt. They're huge. It takes 4 tourists to hug one. Step inside to enjoy the finest look anywhere at the splendor of ancient Rome. Its dimensions are classic, based on a perfect circle as wide as it is tall, 140 feet. The oculus is the only source of light. The Pantheon survived so well because it's been in continuous use for over 2,000 years. It went almost directly from being a pagan temple to being a Christian church. The beauty of the Pantheon and the brilliance of its construction has inspired architects through the ages. The dome is made of poured concrete, which gets thinner and lighter with height. The highest part is made with pumice, an airy volcanic stone. Pantheon means all the gods. It was a spiritual menagerie where the many gods of the empire were worshipped.